Hold on tight, folks. Donald Trump, the man shaking up the global stage, just sat down with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a high-stakes White House dinner. No cameras, no press, just raw power moves. They tackled war, peace, and everything in between. What's cooking? How does this impact America and the world? This is a geopolitical bombshell you won't want to miss. Stick around as we break it all down. On July 7, 2025, President Donald Trump hosted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for a private dinner at the White House, a meeting that's got the world buzzing. This wasn't just a friendly get-together, it was a bold strategic play that cements Trump's image as a no-nonsense leader ready to reshape the Middle East. The agenda? Heavy hitters like the Gaza conflict, ceasefire talks, hostage releases, Iran's nuclear ambitions, and even a potential deal with Syria. But beyond the fancy plates and closed doors, what does this mean for Trump's administration, everyday Americans, and the global chessboard? For Trump's government, this dinner is a slam dunk. It solidifies his reputation as a tough negotiator who doesn't back down from the big dogs. Netanyahu, a longtime ally, went all in by nominating Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, handing him a letter during the dinner to honor his efforts in stabilizing the Middle East. That's a huge win for Trump's brand, giving him a shiny international trophy to wave at his base. With America more divided than ever, having a world leader like Netanyahu sing his praises helps Trump push back against critics who call him reckless. The dinner also lets him flex his deal-making chops, especially after recent US-Israel joint strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. It paints Trump as a proactive president who can rally allies without bowing to globalist elites, doubling down on his America First mantra. For everyday Americans, the long-term payoffs could be big, but they come with risks. A ceasefire in Gaza, if it happens, could calm Middle East tensions, which means steadier oil markets and potentially lower gas prices, a big deal for folks at the pump. A deal with Syria or a crackdown on Iran's nuclear program would boost U.S. national security, keeping American troops and dollars out of costly wars. Trump's pitching this as a path to economic stability, cutting reliance on volatile regions. For the average Joe fed up with inflation and endless conflicts, that's a message that hits home. But the talk of relocating Palestinians out of Gaza, floated during the dinner, could stir up trouble. Progressive voters, especially in liberal strongholds, might cry foul, accusing Trump of fueling a humanitarian crisis. If he doesn't play his cards right, this could dent his appeal with moderates. The impact on America is a mixed bag. Trump's base, folks who see him as a patriot fighting the globalist machine, will eat this up. His tight alliance with Israel, viewed by many conservatives as a bulwark against radical Islam, fuels his tough-on-security narrative. But the Palestinian relocation plan is a lightning rod. The UN and human rights groups are already slamming it as a violation of international law, which could spark protests in cities like New York or Chicago, where pro-Palestinian sentiment runs strong. Trump's got to walk a tightrope to keep moderates from jumping ship while keeping his loyalists fired up. If he pulls it off, he's a hero to millions. If not, he's handing ammo to his enemies. Geopolitically, this dinner is a game changer. The Trump-Netanyahu bromance sends a loud message to Iran. The US and Israel are locked in step, as proven by their joint strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. This undercuts Tehran's clout in the region and bolsters Israel as America's top ally. A potential Syria deal, though still in the rumor mill, could redraw the Middle East's power map, sidelining Russia and China, who've backed the Syrian regime. But it's not all smooth sailing. Iran, feeling cornered, could hit back with proxy attacks or ramp up support for groups like Hezbollah. Trump's anti-globalist stance, thumb his nose at the UN and other multilateral outfits, might also alienate European allies who prefer softer diplomacy. This dinner isn't just about strengthening ties with Israel. It's about America flexing its muscle and calling its own shots, no permission needed. The controversies are piling up fast. The Palestinian relocation plan is a powder keg. Groups like Amnesty International are calling it inhumane and illegal, accusing Trump and Netanyahu of endorsing ethnic cleansing. On platforms like X, opinions are split. Trump's fans cheer him for taking charge, while detractors blast him for reckless warmongering. The Nobel nomination has also raised eyebrows. Some see it as Netanyahu's blatant attempt to cozy up to Trump, not a genuine nod to peace. The dinner's secrecy, with no press allowed, is fueling conspiracy theories about backroom deals. And let's not forget the guest list. Heavyweights like Israel's Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio were there, feeding perceptions that Trump's surrounded by hawks itching for a fight. That could scare off traditional allies like the EU, who'd rather talk than throw punches. This dinner is a bold, in-your-face move that puts Trump front and center as a leader who doesn't mess around. For his supporters, it's proof he's delivering on his promise to put America first while staring down global threats. For his critics, it's a dangerous step toward conflict and a slap in the face to progressive values. One thing's clear, this meeting will ripple for years, from the ballot box to the battlefield. So, what's the verdict, America? Trump and Netanyahu are shaking things up. But is this a masterstroke or a ticking time bomb? Do you think Trump's got Nobel-worthy game, or is this just political theater? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your take, and let's get this conversation rolling. This news hits close to home, so don't sit on the sidelines. Make your voice heard and tell the world where you stand.